Hey guys, welcome back to another Flesh and Blood video. This video is proudly brought to you by the House of Cards, the official sponsor of my stream. Be sure to check out the link in the description below for all of your Flesh and Blood needs. From day one of Heavy Hitter's release, Kayo has been a massive staple of the metagame. But we've all seen him play against Katsu, and we know that that's not a good matchup for Kayo. Although Kayo does struggle into Katsu, I'm curious to see if he'll also struggle into Zen, because Zen is almost like Katsu and Fi had a baby. Zen wants to go really wide and use chip damage, kind of like Fi does, but Zen also uses combo cards for bigger attacks to create that chip damage, kind of like Katsu. One of the determining factors for this matchup is probably going to be how much value do you get off of your Scowling Flesh Bag. If it blocks for only 3 or 4 points, then it's probably not that great. But if you're able to use Scowling Flesh Bag to block for up to 9 or 10 points, then you probably have a decent chance at winning this game as KO. Thanks for stopping by, guys. I hope you enjoy the match. Okay, we're playing against Zen, and we did pick to go second. I see that Zen opens the pretty traditional, like this is the pretty standard opening I'm used to people seeing. They're running the new the new leg piece that puts a tiger into their hand, or at least I assume it's from the new set. And then 12 Petals, Shuko, and Traverse, which are all pretty good. Interesting. Well, I mean, I could just play the Bloodrush and try to start off hot here since my opponent just kind of arsenaled and passed. We have a potential to have a pretty weak Bloodrush hand without having a blue. And also, if we discard the Swing Big, we're in a pretty bad spot. We could... man, this is tough. I kind of think that maybe this is just overpitch for the Swing Big and then just arsenal the Bloodrush. I think that might be the best play we can make here. We could always try to get a little aggressive and go for the Bloodrush hand, but I don't think it's worth it. Although my opponent did already give me their leg piece, which tells me they probably have a pretty solid hand. They might have opened like Art of War and just decided to arsenal and maybe play it a little safe that way. I'm not sure. They did... I did see a Putty Tad. Sorry, that's what that made me think of. This is an interesting hand. The odds of us not being able to block at all are pretty low. I mean, they're running Traverse instead of like Link, so there's not really like any Haunted hits we're trying to block here unless they give us something from... unless they have like relevant on hits from their hand. Ooh, I'm pretty surprised that we banished this... Crouching Tiger, this gets go again. The next Crouching Tiger you play gets +3. Okay, so they banished like a really solid 1-for-4 here that has some pretty decent like generation. I mean, this is really like a 1-for-7, honestly, when you look at this card. Like, speaking about it, kind of. I think I'm just gonna say no blocks. Our opponent did take 7 to be able to set up this hand, so I'll probably end up blocking with a Sash and maybe the Flesh Bag this turn. I'm honestly not sure. I don't really want to give Flesh Bag unless I need to. And if I have to, I'll block with the Assault and Battery this turn. Like, it's a good 3 block, and I'm okay blocking with that if I need to. I don't know. We'll see how our opponent's turn plays out. So, all right, Breed Anger. This gets go again, and a Crouching Tiger in your Banished Zone. So this is really just 5 points here. This is probably an okay chance to just give the Assault and Battery. There could be like a Command and Conquer that my opponent wants to follow this up with at the end of the chain. And in that case, we'll just kind of play the turn out. We'll situationally play it out and see what it looks like. I think it was correct to not give the Flesh Bag here. I think my opponent wanted me to give it to them. I think they were trying to bait me into giving it to them, but... Clears the combat chain. Okay. Descendant Gust Wave seems fine. We'll take 4. This could be a Bonds. If their last card is a Bonds in their hand, then yeah, wow, it's actually like a really solid. Maybe I'm supposed to give the Flesh Bag there just in case. I'm going to be honest, I kind of thought they were bluffing. If I'm just being entirely honest, I really just thought they were. So we'll block the Sash because we need to block the Sash. We might end up using it next turn, and so I think that would be beneficial for us. We'll go to 25. And then this is going to be for 5, and the next one's going to be for 1. So we're just going to go to 19 here. So we're going to be down 14 points. We blocked, what, 2? And took 21, so our opponent had a 23-point turn to start the game off with, which is pretty solid. Pretty good number. And then we'll discard the Mighty Windup, or we'll pitch the Mighty Windup here. Is there any world where we can make this happen? I think this is pitch Agile Windup into the Assault and Battery for 7 after this, and I don't think we're in that bad of a spot. I think we're actually in a pretty decent spot considering I still have the Flesh Bag, although it would have saved me, what, 5, 6 points? Or I'm sorry, it would have saved me 11 points if I would have given it last turn on the Descendant Gustwave, which would have been crazy. Would have been a lot of value we could have gotten. Kind of surprised that my opponent's thinking about blocking. I mean, they can just go to 28 here. Like, I don't really think they need to be... Okay, so their hand is not that functional if that's how they're playing this. And then we discard this, so we come in for 7, making an agility for next turn. I don't think there was a world where we could have, like, rolled scabs and tried to make anything happen. So technically, if we roll scabs, I could have... Yeah, we would have had to have, like, broken the sash and made a lot happen there, and I just don't think that's correct. So I think we're better off to just have made the play that we did. And they just pass. So let's go put this on the bottom for draw card, trying to see if we can find something a little bit better here. We do not find anything better, which is a little bit disappointing in all honesty. We've hit a lot of blues here. There's 22 in my list, I think. So there's 22 or 23. I can't remember exactly. Or maybe there's 21. Somewhere in that 21 to 23 ballpark. I haven't looked in a minute. But if they have a good turn, I'm curious to see how they block, or even if they block. They give us a flick flack. Okay, so they're looking to play a more moderately defensive game, it seems, which I don't think is wrong. It's just interesting. Like, I kind of feel like, yeah, like that being able to block for 5 like that is insane. Flick flag getting a lot of value. Flick flag being a 0 for 6 was really good. I mean, probably just take 2, right? We have a pretty solid hand. So we get to go... No, we can't do that. We have to lead on the Pulping, which is a little unfortunate. We're going to hope we keep the Pack Hunt. We do have the agility, so this is going to be 7 go again no matter what. Ooh, Beast Within. That's interesting. Man, I wish I'd have had that the turn before. That would have been really good. So they take 7. We're going to throw the Claw. And then we're going to throw the Pack Hunt here. They pretty quickly said no blocks, so tells me that they have a hand they want to keep. This is probably going to be the hand that we're going to give up the Flesh Bag here. And I like arsenaling the Runner because we have potential for this to be an extremely good card. We have potential for this to be an extremely good card. It doesn't look very solid in my hand right now, but I think we could try to make something out of this. The fact that we have 2 cards that doesn't block is not very promising to me. I guess the upside of this is that we can block 6 if we need to, and then we can break the sash, pitch the Wild Ride to throw Bear Fangs for 9, which is still a pretty solid play, because we have quite a bit of equipment here. We could actually block with Wrecker Romp and the Bonebreaker and throw it for 10 if we wanted to. I'm hopeful that we're able to keep our hand, and I am able to go break sash and lead on Wild Ride. So they played Stir the Pot with Shuffles and Preserve Tradition, which is they put an attack action on the bottom of the deck. And it does not say what they picked. So they're pitching Chi to activate Zen. And yeah, they have 2 resources floating because of the pedal chess piece there. So they could have a pretty good turn, depends on what it looks like. I'm probably just going to give Flesh Bag on the first thing they throw at us, because I want to be able to try and shut their hand down the best that I can this turn. This is going to be like a big turn for me, and if I'm able to keep Wild Ride, like if I'm able to like use my hand to throw 3 chain links here, it would be very beneficial for us. Spinning Will Kick is interesting. We don't really care about blocking the effect here. We care more about taking a card out of their hand with the Flesh Bag here. Okay, gonna play the Art of War to go buff and banish. Banishing the Crouching Tiger. We take a card from their hand, and then we're gonna take 3 and go to 13. And we're just gonna try and hang on here the best we can. I don't know that, like, this looks like it can be a pretty scary turn. It really depends on like what their hand is. Let's take 4. I think I'm okay taking 4 and going to 9 here. I think that's okay. Would really wish they would put something on the chain that would be for 5. Let's block 2. Hopefully this isn't a bonds. I'm gonna take 1 and go to 6. There it is. There's what we were looking for. Deal 1 damage to each opposing hero. Okay, so we block Wrecker Romp, and here take 1, go to 5, and then go to 4. Which is not exactly where we want to be, but I think it's okay. I think we have a pretty good hand here. So I'm going to crack the Sash. We keep another Wild Ride, which is actually really good for us because it means we get to throw the next Wild Ride and then the runner because of the Sash. So this ends up being an 8, 14, 20 point turn, which means we're probably going to force at least 2 cards out of our opponent's hand. They will probably give me the Traverse this turn just because they're looking to use the Chi. If I had to guess, they would like to be able to use the Chi for something next turn. They just go into 5. Okay. Well, we'll throw the Wild Ride for 6. And you have to give me something here. You can't just say no blocks here. This is where we're at a point where they have to decide to give us something. Now, to be fair, if they're going to transcend, they could block Shuko and Traverse here and still keep their pedal for next turn. They have quite a few options. No, they'd rather save the Traverse. So they take 2, go to 3. And then the runner for 6 means that they have to give me at least 1 card. Blocking with just the Traverse won't do. So they have to give me 1 card here. Maybe there's like a crazy world where they have all no blocks in their hand. Not likely, but possible. I mean, if they take 1 and go to 2, we've only seen 1 Reckless Swing, and I'm pretty sure I have 2 in my list. I'm going to look while I'm sitting here now. I'm going to look over here on my other monitor. Yeah, there's 2 Reckless Swing in the deck, which means technically, if they take this and fall down to 2, we are 1 Reckless away from winning the game. And we still have like a decent amount of block over here. I guess they're deciding that if they're going to, this is the 1 for 4 for the +3. I guess they're deciding if they're going to give me another card. And I think my opponent just said, you know what? 2 and 1 are the same thing. You either have it or you don't. And they're probably just going to try and kill us this turn right here. At least if I had to guess, it feels like they're going for the kill shot here, using the... just trying to kill me here. Because if they had a Flick Flack, they'd just give me the Traverse and the Flick Flack, and it wouldn't matter. Okay, so they're going to activate Zen now with the Chi to You may play it this turn. So the combo card they get doesn't do anything. Yeah, it just sits over there. Okay, I mean, that's fine. So you're going to 1. And then I'm going to hope we draw a Reckless Swing. We did not, but this hand's not bad. This feels like a Art of War, maybe? I mean, I guess they could have like a Maul. I'm going to say no blocks. I don't think I'm playing around the Maul. If they have it, they have it. Draw a card, and then put a card from your hand on the bottom of your deck, and grains that tip the grain that tips the scale. So this goes up 1. So I'm technically taking 1 and going to 3. There was maybe a world where I could have given the scabs here to play around an Art of War or something like that, but I don't think so. I don't think that's what I want to do. And this is a once per turn instant. Okay. So they saw that as beneficial to just go ahead and make the tiger last turn. And so this is the tiger that we are aware of to this point. So if we block with... So we have Clash of Agility, Pack Up, and Pack Hunt, which means if we block with these 3 cards in our equipment, I'm able to throw Claw for 5, which takes 2 cards out of their hand. I'm going to block here with the Bone Breaker. This seems as good as opportunity as I'm going to get the extra might out of it. We do get the agility, which is not very relevant. I like bringing in the Clash of Agility and Clash of Mights because they do have potential early game, but late game, they just give me access to 3 blocks or just 2 for 6s if I need it. So, and the more 2 for 6s I have, the better because of, you know, hands like this. We could really live on the edge if we wanted to and go to 1. I don't know that that's correct, but we're probably supposed to, considering that if we're able to keep a Pack Hunt, we can take 3 cards from their hand. And they could have something a lot better than this later. So they're going to activate Zen to get a Tiger, which is going to be for 1 because of the Kakara. And then they're going to get, I assume, I don't know. I mean, they have the card in their hand is a Tiger. So this turn is really dependent upon whether they have something in their arsenal they can throw at me when the chain ends. Because if they take every card out of my hand right here, we probably lose the game on the spot. I think we just have to block 3. There's no world I'm going to play around a buff of any kind here. Oh, this is for 4. So we're going to block like this, and I really have to hope they don't have another card. And then Tiger Swipe for 4. That's unfortunate. It was a close game. I honestly thought we were going to be able to close that one out there for a minute, but Ninja's just too much. My opponent started off the game pretty hot with a turn 2 Art of War, followed by like a 20 to 23 point combo turn. Now, looking at their turn, if I had actually blocked with Scowling Fleshbag on the Descendant Gustwave, I would have stripped the Bonds of Ancestry from their hand, which would have actually taken 11 extra points off the turn. I would have taken the Bonds of Ancestry, which was for 5, the Breed Anger was for 5, and then the final Crouching Tiger was for 1, which would have saved me a total of 11 points. Now, looking back on that turn, there's no way that I know they have the natural combo line, and when I played the game, I was banking that they didn't have the Bonds of Ancestry in hand, but it still would have saved me 11 points had I blocked with it. Turn 6 is really where the spotlight turns to Savage Sash here. We were able to use Savage Sash to be able to throw a Wild Ride for 8 go again off of 2 mites from the turn before, and then we were able to throw another Wild Ride for 6 go again, and then we were able to finish that off with a runner for a total of 20 points. My opponent's decision on the last turn of the game was very interesting and probably will be labeled as controversial, although looking back on it, I actually really like their decision. My opponent decided to go down to 1, which as we all know is inside of Reckless Swing territory, to throw the final combo kill at me to really try and end the game. Now, they were saying, I'm going to try and end the game right here, and I'm going to hope you don't have Reckless Swing on this one turn. looking at the turn and like thinking about the game, I actually really like it, because if they leave me with even one card in hand, I'm able to strip 2 from their hand because we're both at 1 the rest of the game. So I think it's a winning proposition for me. So them banking on the fact that I wasn't going to have a reckless swing for them to try and win the game, I think is actually a great play. Guys, if you see anything you think I missed, let me know in the comments down below. I'd love to hear about it. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to like and subscribe for more content. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Take it easy, guys.